Greetings, Formula One enjoyers, and this is another race that had to get lumped in order to satisfy the YouTube algorithm. And rain becomes a factor yet again. The race also gets red flagged due to poor visibility. Dang it! Yeah, it's a problem with the Formula One cars. Instead of an aero screen where they could have, like, windshield wipers on it, they have the cockpit halos. And arguably, while the cockpit halos are safer, they don't do very well with visibility, especially on Spa-Francorchamps. Anyways, after a lengthy rain delay went underway, the race would eventually get to a rolling start, which is rare for Formula One, and it would begin with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri battling for the lead. Yeah, about time, as they had to run 3 laps behind the safety car. Oh, come on! Piastri manages to get past Norris. Yeah, I want Norris to win more than Piastri, in case if you haven't wondered already, because I always view Norris as the better man of McLaren. Piastri is a guy who took over for Daniel Ricciardo. George Russell overtakes Albon for 5th. The battle for the lead continues as Piastri has battery issues. Meanwhile, Hamilton jumps up to 15th. Several drivers plan to come down to pit road to get the slicks on, which they do. Even Piastri makes a pit stop. Also, DRS is now enabled. Piastri continues to lead while there's an intense battle in the back with George Russell and Max Verstappen. Verstappen manages to pull away from Russell, and he now has the fastest lap of the race. Hamilton is currently running in 7th. Meanwhile, Kimi Antonelli is attempting to run down Colapinto and looking to get past him. Sainz also manages to get past Hadjar. Hadjar comes down to pit road. Antonelli is down 15th. On lap 28, Piastri continues to lead. Hopefully, Norris can get past him. Hulkenberg comes down to pit road. Norris is starting to cut away at Piastri's lead gap. Even on lap 41, the 2 McLaren drivers still haven't pitted in. What are their tires even made of? God, like, this freaking one-stop strategy. It's no wonder why Monaco has the mandatory 2 pit stops, because you see drivers doing this stuff. Norris locks up on the first corner of lap 43, which means that Piastri is going to win. Oscar Piastri manages to win the 2025 Belgian Grand Prix. I so wanted Lando Norris to win. I think that the Belgian Grand Prix should have the 2-stop rule that Monaco has, as some drivers will stay out for longer than usual. I don't know why Spa doesn't have it, as they need it to even the playing field and to prevent an overly long one-stop strategy from occurring. We, of course, get interviews, the driver talk in the cooldown room, and the winning driver's national anthem at victory lane as usual. But anyways, this race gets a 7 out of 10, as there wasn't much going on in the fact that the race got rained out before it even began. It's like the British GP, except without the redeeming factor of Nico Hulkenberg's podium finish. It's a shame, since Spa is a historic track and you think that the racing would be a lot better. But no, it is ruined by a Piastri domination, rain, and the fact that Lewis still hasn't won! But anyways, on to the Laguna Seca race. Hopefully that race will be better than the Belgian Grand Prix. I hope. Greetings, IndyCar enjoyers, and let's hope that Laguna Seca can put on a better show than Spa. Like last week's race, the pace car is a Honda Civic Type R. Well, I wasn't actually expecting the pace car to be a Honda in the Ontario dealer's Honda Indy Toronto, by the way, because, yeah, even though Honda is the title sponsor, they could use a different pace car, but they used a Honda, though, probably from obligations from Honda themselves, which does make sense, but why Laguna Seca, though? Like, they could use a Corvette as a pace car if they wanted to, but no, they used the Type R for some reason. Tyson Ritter would be the one to give off the command to start their engines. But anyways, the Java House Grand Prix at Monterey begins with Alex Palou jumping to the lead, as he always does. He is unstoppable. Connor Daly and Robert Schwartzman both go into the gravel trap, but no caution is thrown yet. However, a caution is thrown as Felix Rosenqvist gets involved with Kyffin Simpson. Again, it's only been one lap, and there's already a freaking caution. I cannot believe that Felix got involved, especially when he has a cool-looking Grateful Dead car. Dang. Felix had to come down to pit road to get his car repaired, and just like that, he's back in the race. Thank fudge for that, right? Simpson, on the other hand, isn't as lucky as he's out of the race, as his car was damaged beyond repair, which is pretty bad, especially when he got a surprise podium at the race that actually went to the Ontario Dealers Honda in Toronto. Anyways, the race restarts with Alex Palou continuing to lead. Wow, not even an early caution could stop him. Colton Herta also got past Award for second. Malukas and Rasmussen battle for seventh. Palou now has a 2-second lead gap over Herta, and it keeps increasing. At this point, you might as well call it. Alex Palou is just masterful at Laguna Seca, and no, it has nothing to do with the hybrid system. He's just that good, just like how Alex Zanardi was excellent at Laguna Seca. And back in those days, the cars didn't have any hybrid system. So yeah, it's not the hybrid system. Alex Palou is just that good. He won last year's race too. Abel hits the tire barrier and causes the next caution. Dang it! Several drivers come down to pit road during the caution, including Kyle Kirkwood, who has a similar livery to Herta, and you could easily get it confused with Herta, by the way. But anyways, the caution ends with Palou leading yet again. Yes! That's what I want to see after the Toronto race. Palou leading from pole. And not even cautions can get in the way of his incredible lead gap. Meanwhile, Scotty Mack tries to get past Ray Hall, but fails to do so. Even on lap 17, he just keeps getting faster and faster. VK and Dixon are battling for 15th. Malukas comes down to pit road. Next to come down are Scotty Mack and Ray Hall. A lap later, Award comes down to pit road and gives up third to Newgarden. Next to join in is Armstrong, but Palou and Herta stay out. Kirkwood forces VK to lose control and gets into the gravel trap. Palou and Herta come down to pit road right after VK went into the gravel trap, and the race is still green. Like before, Palou had a really fast pit stop, and the caution finally came out. Yeah, that was a delayed caution. And people complained about NASCAR officiating, but sometimes IndyCar officiating is not that good, though. The race restarts with Seagull and Palou battling for the lead. Kirkwood gets a penalty thrown at him. Kirkwood comes down to pit road while Palou tries cutting away at Seagull's lead gap. After an intense battle for the lead, Palou overtakes Seagull and gets the lead back right before Seagull pits it. Holy crapper! Herta managed to get past Dixon, but he's still nowhere near Palou as he's just that good. Even Lundgaard gets past it. Dang, things aren't looking good for Dixon, especially the penalty of the fifth engine. Dixon, of course, had to come down to pit road. Even on lap 50, Palou continues to lead. Will Power just made his pit stop and gave up third to Herta, who also pitted him. On lap 68, Dixon makes another pit stop while Palou continues to lead. Lundgaard comes down to make his final pit stop, and next to join in is Palou. Ericsson loses control, and the caution had been thrown as he was not able to get back on the track on time. I'm just hoping that this doesn't affect Palou's chances to win. Ericsson had to come down to pit road, but anyways, the caution ends with, yep, you guessed it, Palou continuing to lead. Oh, come on! Ferrucci spins out and ends up in the gravel trap, and this causes yet another caution! Oh my god, what is with Ferrucci? Good lord, can we please get a full lap in already? Yeah, like, Ferrucci wrecked out during warm-up in the Toronto race. And he didn't even use any of the freaking tires that were given to him, especially the alternates, which one of them dropped off the tire carrier, by the way, as they've been to the race. But there's no use using those tires in the Toronto race because, well, Ferrucci crashed out during warm-up, and that ends his day, which is pretty bad. Ferrucci doesn't have much luck, at least compared to Malukas. The race eventually restarts with Palou continuing to lead. Fingers crossed if we get a full lap in. Dixon goes wide and goes into the gravel trap, but it doesn't matter as I came here to see Palou win. Rasmussen loses control and gets into the gravel. Again, he's not having any luck this season. It's the final lap, and all Palou has to do is not make any mistakes to take the win, which he does. All hope is not lost for Palou as he manages to win this year's race at Laguna Seca. The 2025 Monterey Grand Prix gets an 8 out of 10, and I'm glad that Palou managed to win this race after I got to beat him at Toronto. He deserved another win, but anyways. This is a Bandito signing off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case you haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.